In the rugged and unforgiving landscape of the Old West, where loyalties were hard-earned and betrayal often meant death, a man made a choice that would brand him a traitor in the eyes of many. When his rival lay wounded and helpless after a violent skirmish, instead of leaving him to his fate, he risked everything to save his life. This act of mercy shocked their entire community. How could a man protect the enemy? Yet, what seemed like betrayal would unfold into a story of honor, unexpected gratitude, and a bond stronger than any feud. The man's decision to extend compassion to his rival was not born from weakness, but from a courage few dare to show in a land where grudges ran deep and justice was often swift and brutal. In a world where trust was scarce and alliances could shift like the desert sands, this act was a radical defiance of the unwritten laws of the frontier. It was a gamble that placed humanity above hatred, challenging the harsh codes that governed life and death in the West. What happened next was beyond what anyone could have imagined. The rival, once bitter and unforgiving, recovered not only his strength, but a profound respect for the man who had saved him. In a moment of humility and gratitude, he bowed before his rescuer, offering gifts that symbolized peace and a new alliance. This unexpected turn transformed enemies into allies, rewriting the story of rivalry into one of respect and shared destiny. This is a tale of courage, forgiveness, and the power of choices that transcend vengeance. It invites us to explore the complexities of honor and loyalty in a world often overshadowed by conflict, reminding us that sometimes the greatest strength lies in mercy. Join me as we unravel this extraordinary journey, a journey where a man branded a traitor becomes a leader, and a rival becomes a partner in shaping the future of the frontier. Prepare to be captivated by a story where betrayal turns to bond, and where the harshness of the Old West is softened by the undeniable force of compassion. This is a narrative that will linger with you long after the last word. Because in a land ruled by survival, the true hero is the one who saves his enemy. In a land where honor was defined by swift justice and loyalty was everything, a man's choice to save his rival's life sent shockwaves through the frontier. The townsfolk could not comprehend why he would risk his own standing, and possibly his life, to aid the very enemy who had sought to destroy him. Whispers of betrayal spread like wildfire, branding him a traitor, a man who had broken the unspoken code that held their harsh world together. But beneath the murmurs and suspicion lay a story far more complex, a story of courage, humanity, and the power of unexpected mercy. The rival lay wounded, vulnerable in a dusty ravine after a brutal clash that had left both sides bloodied and battered. Survival was not guaranteed for either man, yet it was the one branded as a traitor who crossed the line between enemy and savior. His hands, calloused from years of toil, worked swiftly to staunch the bleeding and offer what aid he could. This act of compassion was not a sign of weakness, but a testament to a strength few possessed, the strength to see beyond hatred and embrace the humanity in a foe. The decision to save his rival came at great risk. The traitor's own people viewed his actions as betrayal, some even whispering of revenge. Yet he stood firm, guided by a personal code that valued life above grudges. In the unforgiving landscape of the Old West, where death was often sudden and loyalty absolute, such an act was revolutionary. It challenged the cycle of violence and revenge, planting a seed of change in the hardened soil of conflict. As the rival slowly recovered, a transformation began, not just in his body, but in his heart. The man who had once viewed his rescuer with suspicion and anger came to see a strength beyond the blade, a mercy that demanded respect. Gratitude blossomed where bitterness had lived, and in time, the rival would take an unprecedented step, bowing before the man who saved him, offering gifts as symbols of peace and alliance. This moment marked a turning point that rippled far beyond their personal histories. It was a testament to the power of forgiveness and the possibility of unity in a land defined by division. As we journey through this extraordinary tale, we uncover the complexities of honor, loyalty, and the unexpected bonds that can arise when courage transcends conflict. The news of the rival's recovery and his act of humility spread quickly, sparking both admiration and outrage among their people. Some could not forgive the man branded a traitor, seeing only betrayal where others saw bravery. Yet, those who witnessed the new alliance recognized the profound shift occurring. A union that could reshape the power dynamics of the frontier and challenge centuries of enmity. This was more than a personal story. It was a movement toward peace born from the unlikeliest of acts. The man who had risked everything to save his rival now stood as a symbol of a new kind of leadership, one defined not by ruthless domination, but by the courage to act with compassion. His followers grew in number, inspired by his vision of a frontier where enemies could become allies and where the future was built on trust rather than fear. The rivals' gifts were more than tokens. They were the foundation of a partnership that would unite their people and protect their shared land. Yet, unity was not easily won. Old wounds and rival factions simmered beneath the surface, threatening to unravel the fragile peace. Both leaders faced internal opposition, as those clinging to old grudges sought to reignite conflict. The man and his former enemy had to navigate this treacherous terrain with wisdom and resolve, proving that true strength lay in perseverance and the willingness to stand for what was right. Their alliance brought stability to a region long torn by violence. Together, they forged treaties, built defenses, and fostered cooperation that extended beyond their immediate followers. Their story became a beacon of hope, attracting those tired of endless bloodshed and longing for a future where survival meant more than mere existence. It meant belonging and protection. As the sun set over the vast plains, the two men stood side by side, guardians of a fragile peace forged in fire and mercy. Their journey from rivals to partners illuminated a path forward, showing that even in the brutal world of the Old West, forgiveness and courage could build legacies that would endure. As the alliance between the two men solidified, the landscape of the frontier began to shift in ways few could have imagined. Their union was not just a political maneuver. It was a profound transformation of hearts and minds. The man once called a traitor became a leader admired for his boldness to choose mercy over vengeance. His rival, humbled and grateful, stood as a testament to the power of forgiveness. Together, they brought a new order where cooperation replaced conflict, and loyalty was earned through actions of courage and kindness. The communities that had once been divided by bloodshed began to see the benefits of peace. Trade routes opened, families reunited, and the threat of constant violence lessened. The alliance fostered a spirit of collaboration that nurtured growth and security. Yet, this peace was delicate, constantly tested by those who refused to abandon old hatreds. The two leaders knew that maintaining unity required more than agreements. It demanded unwavering commitment and the strength to face dissent with integrity. Within their ranks, stories of the moment one man chose to save another in the face of danger inspired loyalty and courage. Soldiers and settlers alike drew strength from the example set by their leaders, learning that true bravery often means acting with compassion, even when it is costly. This legacy became the foundation of their growing influence, empowering them to build a community where protection was a shared responsibility. Challenges from rival factions and opportunistic enemies persisted, but the alliance's resilience was unmatched. Battles were fought not only with guns, but with wisdom and diplomacy. Each victory reinforced the idea that unity born from forgiveness could overcome even the fiercest opposition. The men's leadership transcended personal rivalry, uniting disparate groups under a common purpose. As twilight enveloped the land, the man once called a traitor and his rival stood watch over a frontier transformed. Their journey was a living proof that courage to forgive and protect could rewrite destinies, turning enemies into brothers and conflict into peace. The years that followed solidified the kingdom they had built on a foundation of trust and mutual respect. Their partnership grew stronger, their vision clearer, to create a lasting legacy of peace in a world often ruled by violence. The communities flourished under their guidance, prosperity replacing despair, and hope becoming a tangible force. Their story, born of mercy and boldness, became a beacon that drew others seeking refuge and a chance to rebuild. Despite their success, the challenges of leadership weighed heavily. The men faced political intrigue, shifting alliances, and the burden of maintaining peace in a volatile land. Yet, They met each trial with the same courage that had led one to save the other's life. Their bond, tested through fire and adversity, remained unbreakable, a testament to the enduring power of loyalty and forgiveness. The kingdom's prosperity invited both admiration and envy. Rivals sought to undermine their rule, but the strength of their alliance and the loyalty of their people proved formidable. Together, they navigated the complexities of power, always returning to the values that had sparked their union: compassion, courage, and a willingness to protect even those once considered enemies. Cultural exchanges and shared traditions blossomed, knitting the communities closer together. Festivals celebrated unity, and tales of the traitor who saved his rival became legend, reminding all that redemption and honor often come from unexpected places. The kingdom was no longer just a political entity. It was a family, bound by history and hope. As the sun set over the plains, casting a golden glow on a land transformed, the two leaders stood together, a symbol of a new era. Their story was far from over, but the foundation was set, a kingdom built not on fear or revenge, but on the courageous choice to forgive and protect. The kingdom born from mercy and courage continued to grow, its foundation rooted deeply in the principles of trust and mutual respect. The man once scorned as a traitor now stood as a pillar of strength and wisdom, guiding his people through the uncertain terrain of the frontier. His rival, transformed by gratitude and honor, became not only an ally, but a brother in arms, their bond a living testament to the power of forgiveness. Together, they forged a community where protection was a shared duty, and kindness was a currency more valuable than gold. Life in the kingdom was far from easy. Harsh winters tested their resolve, and threats from those unwilling to accept this new order lingered at the edges of their lands. Yet, the people stood firm, fortified by the example of their leaders who had faced down hatred and chosen unity instead. Their strength was not measured by numbers alone, but by the resilience of a community that had learned to care for one another in the face of adversity. The men's leadership extended beyond military might. It was marked by a commitment to justice and fairness that inspired loyalty and hope. They worked tirelessly to build systems that upheld peace and prosperity, recognizing that true power came from uplifting the vulnerable and fostering cooperation. Their story became a beacon to neighboring territories, demonstrating that even the wildest frontiers could be tamed by compassion and courage. Within the kingdom, traditions grew that celebrated their remarkable journey, from enemies to allies, from betrayal to brotherhood. Songs and stories passed down through generations honored the day when mercy prevailed over vengeance, teaching all who heard them that forgiveness could build bridges stronger than any fortress. These tales instilled a sense of pride and purpose, shaping the very identity of the land they called home. As dusk settled over the plains, the two leaders stood once more, reflecting on a journey that had transformed not just their lives, but the fate of an entire region. Their legacy was more than survival. It was a testament to the enduring power of mercy, the strength of unity, and the courage to protect even those once called enemies. Time flowed like the rivers that nourished their kingdom, carrying with it the stories and lessons of a community forged in fire and kindness. The man who had been branded a traitor and the rival he saved continued to lead with humility and vision, guiding their people through new challenges and opportunities. Their shared history became a foundation for a future where hope thrived amid the harsh realities of frontier life. Political pressures and external threats tested their resolve, but the kingdom's bonds remained unbroken. Each trial strengthened their commitment to one another and to the ideals that had sparked their alliance. They understood that peace was not a destination, but a continuous journey requiring vigilance, courage, and compassion. Their leadership became a living example of how empathy could transform even the most divided hearts. The kingdom's prosperity attracted settlers, traders, and visionaries who believed in the power of unity. Schools and markets flourished alongside farms and homes, creating a vibrant society that balanced tradition with progress. The leaders fostered a culture that valued every voice and celebrated every contribution, ensuring that the legacy of mercy and protection endured. The story of the traitor who saved his rival became legend, inspiring countless others to believe in the possibility of redemption and reconciliation. It was a reminder that even in a world scarred by conflict, the choice to forgive and protect could rewrite destinies and build lasting peace. Their tale was told and retold, a beacon for those seeking light in the darkest of times. As night fell over the kingdom, the two leaders stood side by side beneath a sky full of stars, their hearts united in purpose and hope. Their journey had shown that courage to act with mercy, even in the face of scorn, was the greatest strength of all, a legacy that would echo through generations to come. The kingdom's foundation, laid in the crucible of mercy and loyalty, blossomed into a thriving community that stood as a beacon in the often brutal and lawless frontier. The man once branded a traitor had become a leader revered not for his might alone, but for his unwavering commitment to justice and humanity. Alongside his former rival-turned-ally, they forged a society where protection was shared and where kindness became a formidable force against the chaos that had long plagued their lands. Their leadership was not without challenge. The frontier was unforgiving, and the kingdom faced threats from bandits, rival factions, and the relentless forces of nature. Yet, the unity between these two men inspired their people to meet each trial with resilience and hope. Together, they transformed fear into courage, showing that even the fiercest storms could be weathered when hearts stood as one. Their example taught that true strength often lies in the ability to forgive and protect rather than to dominate. The bonds of the kingdom extended beyond mere survival. They fostered growth and prosperity. New traditions emerged, rooted in the story of betrayal turned brotherhood. Festivals and gatherings celebrated the day when mercy overcame vengeance, reminding every generation of the power held in compassionate choices. The community thrived not only because of their shared resources, but because of the shared spirit that bound them. Travelers and settlers from distant lands came seeking refuge and inspiration, drawn by tales of a kingdom built on trust and courage. The legacy of the man and his rival echoed far and wide, a testament to the possibility of transformation even in the wildest of places. Their story became a symbol of hope for all who dreamed of peace amidst the turmoil of the Old West. As twilight cast long shadows across the plains, the two leaders stood side by side, their silhouettes framed by the fading light. Their journey, from enemies bound by conflict to brothers united in purpose, was a powerful reminder that courage to choose mercy can build kingdoms that endure far beyond the battlefield. Years rolled on, carrying the kingdom through seasons of change and challenge. The man and his ally, now elders in their community, continued to lead with wisdom born from experience and compassion. Their vision of a unified frontier had taken root, nurturing a society that valued every voice and every life. The kingdom was no longer a fragile alliance, but a thriving legacy, a place where justice and kindness walked hand in hand. Despite their successes, the ever-changing landscape of the frontier required constant vigilance. Political rivalries, economic shifts, and the lingering shadows of past enmities tested their resolve. But the leaders met each new challenge with the steady resolve that had brought them this far. Their strength was found not only in their numbers, but in the unwavering commitment to protect one another, fostering a culture of resilience and hope. The community flourished, balancing growth with the preservation of the values that had sparked their union. Schools, marketplaces, and homes blossomed alongside the stories of mercy and leadership that inspired all who lived there. The kingdom became a place where legacy was honored not just through words, but through the everyday acts of kindness that defined their way of life. Their tale was carried across the West, inspiring others to believe in the power of forgiveness and unity. The story of the man who risked everything to save his rival, and the rival who responded with respect and gifts, became a parable of hope for all who sought peace amid chaos. It reminded people that the fiercest enemies could become the strongest allies when hearts were open. As the stars illuminated the night sky, the two leaders stood together, their faces marked by time, but their spirits intertwined by a bond unbroken. Their journey proved that in a world ruled by survival, the courage to protect one's enemy could rewrite history and build a kingdom that would echo through the ages. The kingdom's story had become a living legacy, echoing through the hills and valleys of the frontier, inspiring all who heard it to believe in the power of mercy and courage. The man once labeled a traitor and his rival-turned-ally had forged a community that stood as a testament to transformation. Their leadership transcended the boundaries of old conflicts, proving that forgiveness is not weakness, but a profound strength that can unite even the fiercest foes. Their journey was marked by trials that tested their resolve time and again. Raids, harsh winters, and political intrigue challenged the kingdom's stability. Yet, every challenge was met with resilience born from shared history and unyielding trust. The people learned that their greatest weapon was the bond they had formed, a bond sealed not by blood, but by the choice to protect and uplift one another. The kingdom flourished beyond expectations, becoming a hub of culture, commerce, and learning. It attracted settlers and travelers who sought more than survival. They sought belonging and purpose. The leader's vision had created a haven in a wild land, a place where honor was measured not by violence, but by the willingness to stand for peace and justice. The story of their unlikely alliance spread far and wide, carried on the winds by those who longed for a better way. It became a beacon for all who believed that even in the darkest times, courage to forgive and protect could light the path forward. Their tale was a timeless reminder that the harshest frontiers could be tamed not by force alone, but by the enduring power of compassion. As twilight settled once more over the kingdom, the two leaders, now symbols of hope and reconciliation, stood together, their legacy etched into the very soul of the land. Their story was proof that in a world ruled by survival, the bravest act of all is to protect those you once called enemies. The final chapter of their story is not one of grand conquests, but of lasting peace and shared prosperity. The kingdom, born from an act deemed betrayal, grew into a thriving community where justice, loyalty, and mercy were the pillars of society. The man once scorned and the rival once saved had rewritten the rules of the frontier, showing that true leadership is born from empathy and courage. Their legacy challenges us to rethink what it means to be a hero. It teaches that the greatest strength lies not in dominance or revenge, but in the willingness to forgive and protect those who have wronged us. In a world still marked by conflict and division, their story is a powerful reminder that peace is possible when we choose compassion over hatred. Generations will continue to tell the tale of how a man labeled a traitor became a legend, and how his rival's gratitude forged an unbreakable alliance. This story encourages us all to embrace the courage to act with mercy, to build bridges where walls once stood, and to protect not just our own, but the shared future of all. As the sun sets on this tale, we see that the true kingdom is not measured by land or wealth, but by the hearts united in forgiveness and protection. Their journey is a testament to the enduring power of kindness, a legacy that will echo through time, inspiring all who dare to follow their path. Thank you for being part of this story. Remember, the bravest choice you can make is to protect those who once seemed beyond saving. And in doing so, you may just build a kingdom that lasts forever. This story has shown us that in a world often divided by conflict and mistrust, the courage to protect those we once called enemies can build bridges stronger than any wall. The man once labeled a traitor made a choice that defied the harsh codes of the Old West, choosing mercy over vengeance and humanity over hatred. His actions sparked a legacy of loyalty, honor, and unity that transformed not only his own fate, but the destiny of an entire kingdom. As you reflect on this journey, ask yourself, what power do we hold in our own hands to change lives through kindness? How often do we let fear or pride prevent us from reaching out to those in need, even when they seem like adversaries? This tale reminds us that forgiveness is not weakness, but an act of immense strength that can rewrite the stories of our lives and communities. If this story moved you, please share your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice helps create a community of people inspired by hope and courage. And if you want to explore more incredible stories that reveal the depth of human resilience and compassion, don't forget to subscribe and join us. Together, we can continue to uncover lessons that challenge and uplift. Remember, Every act of protection and mercy sends ripples far beyond the moment. The choice to save an enemy shaped a kingdom, and your engagement today can be part of that same wave, spreading kindness and strength into the world. Each like, comment, and subscription fuels this journey of inspiration. Thank you for being here and listening. Stay brave, stay compassionate, and never underestimate the power you have to change lives, build peace, and create a legacy of love that will echo through generations.